Warning: the stories in this show are based on true events. Due to privacy reasons, names and locations have been changed. The following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Accordingly, viewer discretion is advised.
My name is Robert, and this is a story about my shitty roommates. So I'm living in a house, a small student house with 3 other girls, and when I moved in about 4 months ago, one of my roommates was home and she introduced herself and she was like, "Oh my god, we're going to have so much fun. By the way, I love your shirt." All of the roommates were so nice to me, it was almost too good to be true, but one day I was kind of having doubts because I went to the kitchen because it was peanut butter jelly time. But then I saw that my peanut butter jar was empty and I hadn't even touched it, so I was like, where's my fucking peanut butter? I was a bit confused at first, but then I found out that these nice girls were stealing my food. One day I was walking past my roommate's room and I even saw empty chocolate wrappers like on the floor. So I wanted to confront them with the situation, so I asked them, have you been stealing my food? And I was not surprised when they were like, "No, I would never do that, we have our own food." So that was the time that I lost my shit. And I wanted revenge on them and I wanted them to lose their shit too, like literally. So I started planning and my plan was a little bit evil, but then again, so was them stealing my food. I still had some laxatives in my bedroom closet and I'm lying if I didn't say that I had any second doubts about this plan because I'm normally not that mean. So I put the laxatives in the peanut butter and I let the magic happen. After only one day it was already working and the outcome was better or actually worse than expected. In the beginning it was kind of funny, but then I found out that I hadn't thought the whole thing through because we only have like 1 toilet in the house and it's a very small house. My roommates were constantly on the toilets and that wasn't even the worst part. The smell was so bad, like I even get sick thinking about it. At that time I realized it wasn't worth my while because after all that shit, I just decided to move to another apartment and I'm very happy with my new roomies. I just like to keep my food in my room just in case.
My roommate was so messy, she had to sleep in a sleeping bag on the floor because she couldn't get in her bed. And because of that, she had sex in my bed. And I only found out about months later.
So when I first started living here, I had this roommate. And he smoked a lot, and by a lot I mean a lot of weed. And I didn't mind at all, but it was just that all of his pets, they just all kept dying. First he had a hamster, then he had a few birds, and he came like, "Look, my pet is dead again." And every time when he went to the store, he just got a new one. And they all kept on dying. And to finish it all off, he had a girlfriend eventually, and she was pregnant. But the kid was not his. And then he left. That's my best experience with a roommate.
My name is Fiona and this is a story about my naked roommate. I live with a friend of mine, her name is Amber, and we live in the city of Breda in a really small apartment. Her room is at the front of the house and she has 2 big windows which overlook the street, and my room is in the back of the house. And one time I was hanging out with a friend of mine, Dan, and we were having drinks and having fun and playing card games, and around 12 o'clock we went to go to the city to go out, and when I got home I was near my house and I saw that the lights in Amber's room were on. So that meant that she had to be home. And then Dan said to me, "Let's scare her." So I said, "Okay." So I snuck to the room and I looked inside and I was horrified and I started laughing, and Dan was like, "What's going on?" So he went to the window as well, and by the look on his face I saw that he was just as shocked as I was, because in her room, my roommate's room, there was a guy butt naked throwing up all over the floor. And Dan and I were of course laughing and shocked, And we were like, what do we do now? So we decided to go in and act like we didn't see anything just to avoid awkwardness. And Dan and I were talking really loud because we knew what was going on inside, so we wanted them to know that we were home, but not interrupt anything or something. So we started to discuss like, that was such a fun night, and Dan responded with, yeah, it was so much fun. And then my roommate started to call my name because apparently the doorknob of her door fell out, so she couldn't leave her room. And she asked me to open her door. So knowing what was going on the other side of the room, I opened the door and immediately walked away. And she left her room and started grabbing towels and a bucket and everything so she could clean up the puke. And I was like, do you need any help? And she said, no, probably because she didn't want me to know that there was a naked guy throwing up in her room. But she didn't know that we already saw. That now was really fun for me, not for her.
Oh my god, it's
I don't want this thing near me, near my kitchen! We like to pray. We like to pray. Thank the Lord. My cock-blocking roommate.
I don't remember. That is so common. And then Dan was like, what's going on? And he looked at... Wie gaat een naked guy spelen?
Ja, wij wel wel iemand. Wie gaat het doen? So we went outside and